blue trim. Hershey in the orange jerseys and white pants. Hershey will be kicking off from right to left at 91.1 on your FM dial, WMSS. Back deep to receive for Middletown is Gary Coleman. There's the kick, high end over end. Coleman will take it all the way back to the 1 yard line. He's up to the 5, 10, 15, moves to the 20, dodges another tackle to the 25 to the 30, and pulled down from behind at the 34-yard line. An excellent return of about 33 yards for Gary Coleman.
Tackle made by Matt Schwartz. He's a very strong special teams player for this Hershey Trojans team. In fact, he only started on special teams the first game of the year. He's played so well on special teams in that first game and since that he has moved in as a starter at linebacker.
So the Middletown Blue Raiders break out of the huddle. First and 10 at their own 34. Back split, wing near side. Give us to J.J. Baker off left tackle. Gets some blocking and a lot of pushing from behind. And a lot of help as he gets 6 yards on the carry. It will bring up a 2nd and 4 for Middletown.
And right away, John, at Middletown with the offensive line problems that they had, it was expected that Eric Shirk may miss this ball game, but he is out there starting at center. They were looking at the possibility of maybe starting Brian Sino, the junior varsity starting center, at center in tonight's ball game. Instead, it's Shirk fighting through some injuries.
2nd and 4 for the Raiders. Quick pitch near side. It'll be Coleman sweeping to the outside, and he will pick up a couple yards on the carry. It will bring up a 3rd and 2 for Middletown at the Raiders' own 42-yard line.
Great play by George Grah, the defensive end on the left side. Made sure that he stayed on the outside of Coleman, made Coleman cut back where his support was to the inside of the field, and he was able to yank Coleman down after a very minimal game.
We're just underway, the Middletown Blue Raiders and the Hershey Trojans, Mid-Penn Division II football, both teams with a record of 2-2 on the season. 3rd and 2 for Middletown. Give up the middle. Baker will pick up the first down across the 45 to the 48-yard line. J.J. Baker and Gary Coleman, a very tough running tandem, showing their outstanding teamwork in the backfield last week against Milton Hershey. Now we have an official's timeout on the field.
Well, John, there's no question in this ball game. Each team, really, they've got quarterbacks that they're not going to ask them to do a lot in the way of passing the ball for the most part. That's not the game plan. These teams are going to try to come out and run the football, and both teams know that, so it's strength against strength here. Running game for each team.
Quarterback Chris Blasey over center, 1st and 10 for the Raiders with a wing to the far side. Blasey long count, gives to Coleman, sweeping to the left, cuts back towards the middle, across midfield to the 47 of Hershey. It's a gain of about 5 or 6 yards for Middletown. So it brings up a 2nd and 5 for the Raiders. 9:30 to play here in the first quarter, no score. Beautiful fall evening here in Hershey, with the exception of the sewage stench, which is kind of blowing our way this evening. You can see the wind is blowing to the east, so no, we couldn't go to the west and we couldn't get the chocolate plant. 2nd and 5, Blasey back to pass. He'll throw down the left side. He has Javoni, but too far for him, and Blasey ate a lot of dirt on that as he got nailed by George Groff after he unloaded the pass.
It's fortunate for Hershey that Groff was the man there, because Schiavone ran that same little seam pattern they ran last week for their 5th touchdown against Milton Hershey, where Schiavone was wide open, running down the left side of the field, and he had his man beat by a good 5 yards. Blasey just didn't have the time to wait for him to go to the spot he was trying to throw to.
3rd and 5 for Middletown with the Twins to the far side. Backs are split. Blasey, long count, gives off left side. J.J. Baker finds a hole. Big first down to the 40, to the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, J.J. Baker. 42 yards. Check that. 47-yard touchdown carry, and the Raiders lead at 6-0.
Just a huge hole for Baker. It was obvious that Hershey wasn't exactly looking for the run in that situation. Just a quick give up the middle of Baker. And once he saw that seam up the middle of the Hershey defense, he just turned on the afterburners. And for a fullback the size of Baker, this kid is 5'10", 200 pounds. pounds, he was murdered. And nobody was going to stop him. Even the secondary guys were trying to run him down and just could not get the angle on Baker. He saw the seam, took it, and had the nose for the end zone to get him in.
Raiders a little slow at lining up now and will take a timeout as they were missing a player on the extra point conversion. So we've got timeout, 8:59 to play, first quarter. It's Middletown 6, Hershey nothing. Back on the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
Talk about service.
People are really friendly, and they are very helpful. They help you find what you need.
Talk about value.
I've saved as high as $25, $30 in 1 week.
Talk about quality and freshness.
Delis, fresh, everything's fresher.
Let's talk about all the reasons why Fox's Market make you feel good. Fox's Market.
Fox's is a proud supporter of Middletown athletics.
Makes you feel good. Fox's Market makes you feel good.
Welcome back. The Blue Raiders with a 6-0 lead, courtesy of a 47-yard touchdown carry by J.J. Baker. Chris Blasey now to do the extra point kick for Middletown. The ball will be spotted at about the 10-yard line. So the Raiders line up. Snap, hold, kick is up, and it is good. We'll take a break from the action. It's a Middletown lead. 8:59 to play here in the first. The Raiders 7, Hershey nothing. Back on the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
They're America's Most Wanted. And if you're in need of a haircut, style cut, or perm, you can find America's Most Wanted. Their names are Doug, Bob, Sherry, Nancy, and Virginia. They can be found at the Olmsted Plaza Barbershop and Beauty Shop. They have the look for every man, woman, and kid. Middletowners want them, and Middletowners find them at the Olmsted Plaza Barbershop and Beauty Shop at the James Way Plaza. Open Mondays through Thursdays from 9 until 7, Friday from 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 3.
Now the Raiders start out with a touchdown on their first drive, first series of the game. 7-0 Middletown.
That drive, 3 minutes, 1 second, 6 plays, 66 yards. And the key play obviously was the touchdown run, just a big hole between the center Shirk and the left guard Dupes on that left side of the offensive line. And once Baker got 5 yards down the field, clear sailing.
Blasey kicks off end over end. Taken at the 20-yard line, I believe, by Yingst, and leveled at the 30. Dan Yingst on the return. And Hershey will start out first and 10 at its own 30-yard line.
And a big stop on that kickoff return. Ed Fox was in there. Not only was he one of the first guys down to break up the wedge, he was also the guy who got his hands on the ball carrier, Yingst.
So Hershey breaks out of the huddle. Cherubini and Yingst split in the backfield with a slot to the right side. Quarterback is Weidman. First and 10 for Hershey at their own 30-yard line. Yingst goes in motion. Weidman gives in the backfield, and Cherubini goes nowhere, wrapped up immediately by Craig Rao.
Great read by Rao. He saw his key, the guard, pulling that time to the left side, and because of that, Rao shot through the line, saw the ball carrier, followed the motion, and just took the ball carrier down for a loss of 2 on the play. This quarterback situation for Hershey is very interesting because they've got a sophomore, Josh Weidman, as their quarterback. He's a 5'9", 150-pound sophomore. The backup is a freshman. So regardless of which quarterback Hershey wants to go with, it's going to be a young one.
That carry was by Chad Dale, not Cherubini. Split backfield again. Weidman back to pass. He's looking right. He's throwing deep, too high, over the head of both Jan Michael Lawrence for Middletown and the intended receiver, Chad Dale.
Let's set this offense real quick for Hershey. You've got Weidman as the quarterback. The player that they consider the fullback in this wing T offense for Hershey, Albert Cherubini, he plays all over the place in the wing T, depending where they want to run the ball with him. Dan Yingst is one of the running backs. Chad Dale is normally the wing back. And their tight end, Fred Weaver, and they rotate their plays in with their wide receivers between Brian Harper, Dan Icavone, and Bill Ellick.
3rd and 11 for Hershey. At their own 29-yard line, wing to the far side, split to the near side. Backs are split. Weidman will give up the middle. Groff finds a hole after the 35 to the 40. Picks up the first down at the 44-yard line. George Groff, the carry, the 5'11", 185-pound senior.
And Groff's a guy who made a couple big plays on defense on that first series. A stop on a sweep from Coleman, and also a near sack of the quarterback Chris Blasey. And on that run, just a lot of guts on that play. A nice hole opened up by the Hershey offensive line, and that gave Groff some opportunity to use his speed and get into the open for the first down.
Raiders lead at 7-0. Hershey with a football, 1st and 10 at its own 44. Yinks goes in motion. Weidman back to pass. Now not sure what to do under pressure. He gets hit. He fumbles the football. Hershey comes up with it. Big hit by the Raiders, Gary Coleman, and Hershey recovers at its own 33-yard line.
And Weidman knew that one was coming because Coleman's coming from the left side, and with the right-handed quarterback, the quarterback looks right into that. Now, Weidman was trying to roll away from him and trying to get rid of the ball in time, but just didn't have the opportunity because Coleman's got that sprinter speed on the outside of that defensive end position. Came up, crunched him. No way Weidman was going to hold on the ball, and Hershey fortunate that offensive lineman was there to fall on the ball.
2nd and 22 from the 32 for Hershey. Slot near side, motion by Yinks, giving them the single setback and a trips now. Kind of a counter play in the backfield, and only a gain of 2 yards on the carry by the Trojans. That was Chad Dale on the carry for Hershey, brings up a 3rd and 20 for the Trojans at their own 34-yard line.
They tried using that counter motion that time. They sent the motion over to the left side on that play, and then sent the counter the other way, trying to catch Middletown off guard, maybe looking for a pass in that situation, or at least following the motion on that one. But a good team defense by the left side of the Middletown defense by staying home and making sure that they knew where the play was going. They saw the handoff well.
Hershey on 3rd and 20. Yinks goes in motion again, giving him a trips to the near side. It's 3 receivers eligible, and Weidman back to pass. Under pressure, he'll throw to the near side, but over the head, incomplete. Actually got some of the hands of Brian Harper, but it will bring up a 4th down, and the punting unit comes in.
Well, the sack was the key play there for Middletown. Coleman with the sack and the forced fumble gave Hershey a situation that they don't want to face with a young quarterback and a team that's not accustomed to passing a lot. 2nd and 3rd down with long yardage to go. That's just not a situation that you're going to pick up a first down a lot, especially with the young team that Hershey has.
So 4th and 20. Taylor back to punt. Nails a beauty. Blasey will take it at his 25-yard line up to the 30. Finds a hole at the 35 to the 40. He's got some room across midfield. 45, 40, 35, 30. One man to beat. Cuts it inside at the 15, the 10, and drugged down to the 6-yard line. What a return by Chris Blasey.
And Chad Dale was the man who finally ran him down. Great blocking from the Middletown punt return team. Taylor with the kick there, a booming punt, but the problem was he didn't get as much hang time as he usually does on the ball. He outkicked his coverage. That gave Middletown plenty of time to set up the blocking on the punt return. Blasey comes near side with a couple nice cuts, and Middletown in scoring position again.
Raiders 1st and goal at the 6. Give up the middle. J.J. Baker gets inside the 5 and down at the 3-yard line. What was that, a 69-yard return? Took it at the 25, so Chris Blasey has the Raiders in scoring position once again. And I guess as a quarterback, you want that. Why do you want to be deep in your own territory? Hey, I'm the quarterback. I'll make sure that we only have to run a few plays and poke it in. It's a 2nd and goal for the Raiders from the 3-yard line. Backs are split. Coleman and Baker give to Coleman, sweeping left, and he will be brought down at the 1-yard line. So a 3rd and goal to go from the 1 for Middletown. They lead at 7-0 with 4:18 and counting here in the first.
Gary Armish, the tackler that time, at least he was in on the tackle for Hershey, and that's because he came across the field, and his blocker actually pushed him into Coleman, trying to open up the inside for Coleman, who really likes to cut that ball back up inside, and Coleman had made the decision already to cut it outside, and Armish was right there after he was blocked into Coleman. A fortunate play for the Trojans.
3rd and goal from the 1. Coleman goes in motion. Baker gets the give. He is in for the touchdown. J.J. Baker crossed the plane, pushed back out around 2 or 3 yard line, but it made no difference. You break that goal line, you get the 6 points, and J.J. Baker, 2nd touchdown of the game. It's now 13-0 Middletown.
And Baker that time following the offensive line, the left side, where they've got Shirk, they've got Dupes, they've got Craig Rowell over there, and that time also following the wingback Jesse Dupes on that touchdown run.
Extra point conversion, snap, hold, kick is up, and it's good. Timeout on the field, 3:46 to play. First quarter, it's Middletown 14, Hershey nothing. This is the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
They're America's Most Wanted. And if you're in need of a haircut, style cut, or perm, you can find America's Most Wanted. Their names are Doug, Bob, Sherry, Nancy, and Virginia. They can be found at the Olmsted Plaza Barbershop and Beauty Shop. They have the look for every man, woman, and kid. Middletowners want them, and Middletowners find them at the Olmsted Plaza Barbershop and Beauty Shop at the James Way Plaza. Open Mondays through Thursdays from 9 until 7, Friday from 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 3.
Well, Chris Blasi made it all happen on this last one, taking a punt all the way down to the 6-yard line. Baker pokes it in from the 1, and it's now 14-0 in favor of Middletown.
Obviously, the 69-yard punt return was the key on just a 3-play, 5-yard drive, 1 minute, 31 seconds on that.
Blasi's kick all the way down to the 3-yard line, and it will be whistled down at the 3-yard line as Cherubini fell down, slipped, tried picking up the ball, but he was considered down. And the Hershey Trojans, deep in their own end, they will spot it at the 4. So a critical mistake on the part of the young Hershey Trojans.
It just, Cherubini slipped down, and before he tried to pick up the ball while he was on the ground, and that in high school football, you're down when your knee is down and you have possession of the ball. And in the situation there, this is Hershey, again, a young team in a situation there where they don't want to be against a veteran Middletown club, and that's deep in their own field.
First and 10 for the Trojans at their own 4-yard line. They trail Middletown by 2 touchdowns. Baxter split, gives up the middle. Believe it was to Groff, and it was a gain of about 3 yards on the carry, brings up 2nd and 7.
That's a very safe, conservative play there, where you just give the ball up the middle and hope your offensive line can open up the middle. Very low chance of a loss of yardage on the play because it's coming up the middle so quickly. You'd have to have a defensive tackle really make a lot of penetration quickly for that play to lose any yards, and it also gives you some more room to make a little more wild call here on 2nd down.
2nd and 7. Give to the right side. Yinks finds a hole across the 10-yard line out to about the 12. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 2 for the Trojans.
Yinks is a guy who this year, he had 100 yards against Lebanon in their 3rd game of the year, but he's really underachieved based on what they really wanted from him this year so far, because that's his only big game of the year. It's a guy coming in as a senior. He's 6 foot, 180 pounds, starting both ways, and they really expected a lot more than they're getting from him right now.
He is the son of Doug Yinks, the Director of Operations for the Hershey Bears Hockey Club. 3rd and 1 from the 13 for Hershey. Baxter split, give us up the middle and stopped shy of a 1st down. I believe it was Groff who got the carry. Very tough to tell from up this high and as deep as we are. don't even think the public address announcer knows. Now, it was Dan Yanks on the carry, and he loses a yard. It will bring up a 4th and 2 for Hershey, and again, the punting unit comes in. Yanks' brother, Matt Yanks, known for hockey and, of course, plays for the Johnstown Chiefs of the East Coast Hockey League. Was in camp in the preseason with the Hershey Bears. Hershey punting from the end zone. Jay Taylor gets it out near midfield, taken by Jesse Dupes at his own 46 across midfield to the 45 and knocked down at the 42-yard line. So the Raiders will again set up shop in Hershey territory. 1:12 to play first quarter, 14-0 in favor of Middletown. This game, of course, not only live on radio, but being televised on our VCR, of course. But it's being recorded, so all of you fine fans out there who are either at the game or couldn't make the game can get copies of these at any home Middletown Blue Raider game or at the Middletown Recreation Office for just $10. Middletown, 1st and 10. Give to Coleman, sweeping to the left, dodges a tackle at the 40, to the 35, getting another block at the 30, 25, 20, one man to beat, cuts back inside at the 10, the 5, and he's down at the 2-yard line. Gary Coleman, moving and grooving, weaves his way down the field, and the Rangers again are going to pop it in.
Oh, what a sweet move Coleman made around the 18-yard line. He made the little move to the outside and faked inside at the 30-yard line to get the quarterback, who was the lone man to beat on the outside, got him to move inside, cut it to the outside, and then had just sliced right between two guys at the 18-yard line. Just a sweet move for Coleman, and got him all the way down to the 2.
So the Raiders, 1st and goal from the 2. Backs are split with a wing to the right side. Again, Baker up the middle, pushing, he's in, touchdown. The Raiders have gotten the football or run 11 plays now, and they have scored 3 times in this game, all in the first quarter. J.J. Baker again with the touchdown.
With a 2-yard carry from Baker, you know, there's not a lot of question who's getting the ball most of the time around that goal line. When you've got a 1st and goal for Middletown, 9 times out of 10, the ball's going to be given to Baker, and he's going to be going right behind the guard, center, and the other guard on that line, just trying to go right up the gut, and that's what they've done 2 times now for touchdowns for Middletown in short yardage here in this ball game.
Blasey for the extra point. Snap, hold, kick is up, and it's good. 24 seconds to play in the first quarter. We're going to step out. Our scores, Middletown 21, Hershey nothing. This is the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
The moment you walk into Rhodes Pharmacy, you'll notice a difference. You'll see it in the way they act, the way they talk, and the way you're treated. Rhodes Pharmacy is under new management, so whether you need a prescription, a non-prescription item, cards, gifts, or professional advice, the friendly Rhodes staff is anxious to serve your needs. Rhodes Hummelstown store is open 7 days a week. In Middletown, Rhodes Pharmacy is open 9 to 8 Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 on Saturday.
Welcome back, Hershey Park Stadium. John Wilsbach, Brian Kaiser, Steve Leedy, Matt Demme, Scott Bingaman. Our photographer for these games, televised home and away, is Chris Hughes, JV coach for the Middletown Blue Raiders. So if you see the camera shake or anything, you know it's Chris Hughes doing it. It's not us.
He does a good job for the most part. Every once in a while you got one of those wobbles in there, but
Squib kick for the Raiders. Hershey having a hard time finding it. Finally picking it up at the 18 and down at the 16-yard line. Treader down there making the tackle on Groff, and you know the Trojans all more or less stood around and watched the ball dribble past them.
it's really scary how well that squib kick's working. I mean, that ball could have been stopped by one of the up men at the just past the 50-yard line. Instead, it rolls all the way down to the 16-yard line with Hershey just standing around saying, gosh, that ball's going to be kind of difficult to pick up. Finally, Groff grabs the ball, and he's hit almost immediately by Treader.
10 seconds remaining in the first quarter. We'll see if the Trojans can get off a play here. They have it 1st and 10 at their own 16-yard line. Weidman over center will not get it off in time. We have played 1 quarter from Hershey Park Stadium. Our score, Middletown 21, Hershey nothing. We'll come back with the second quarter. Brian Kaiser calling the shots on the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
Are you concerned about the future financial security of your family or business? When was the last time you had your life and disability insurance reviewed and your investment and retirement program analyzed? For answers to these important questions, call a professional, Tim Knoll, COU. He is a local chartered financial consultant with more than 28 years experience. Call Tim at 939-0968 for a free consultation. That's 939-0968.
Welcome back to Hershey Park Stadium. Brian Kaiser along with John Wolfbach, Steve Leedy. Wireless microphone man tonight is Matt Demme. And after one quarter of play, 3 J.J. Baker touchdowns have given Middletown a 21-0 lead. The Hershey Trojans, just nothing going on offense, John.
Well, you know, Middletown experienced something similar like this a couple weeks ago against Southwestern. Got taken out of the game, consistent drives, plays by an experienced Southwestern team. Right now, Middletown's laying it on Hershey, and Middletown wants to continue doing that. Don't let them back in the football game. Play consistent. Make sure you get everybody good physical conditioning, but not to the point where anyone's going to suffer any injuries.
Middletown on defense now. Hershey has it 1st and 10 from their own 16-yard line. In motion is Dale to the left side. Give is up the middle, and that is Groff. He's hit hard at the 20-yard line. He's got a gain of 4. Bring up a 2nd down and 6 for Hershey. Just underway here in the second quarter.
Gumpman, experienced coach, doesn't want to let his team get down after only one quarter. He knows there's 4 quarters to be played out there.
And a very young team here for Hershey. They've got a lot of time to learn. A lot of sophomores playing at the skill positions for these Trojans. They come up. Split backfield wing to the near side. Weidman calls the signal, sends Dale in motion to the left. Back to pass goes Weidman. Rolling to the left, and he slips down at the 12-yard line. Getting credit for the sack is going to be Ed Fox, even though he didn't touch Weidman. It'll be a loss on the play of, we'll call it 6, and it'll bring up a 3rd down and 12 for Hershey.
I'll tell you, he slipped down there, and we've seen a couple slips out on the field already, and you know, it is kind of a cool evening. We're going to check down with our Matt Demme in a little bit and find out, you know, maybe just how slippery the grass is. You know, as the evening goes on, that little bit of wetness, a little bit of dew starts forming out there on the grass, and it is a little easier to slip.
So Hershey, another long yardage situation here. They're at their own 14, 3rd and 12. Split backfield. Calling the signals is Weidman. He's back to pass, straight back, trying to flip it to his tight end. But triple to quadruple coverage there, and eventually Leonard Brown knocks the ball down from the safety position for Middletown. Pass was intended for Fred Weaver, and Hershey will have to punt on a 4th down and 12 situation.
And we'll be checking with our Matt Demme in just a moment after this punt.
So it'll be Jay Taylor, senior kicker, back to punt, standing at his own goal line. Boots the ball away. It's a high, wobbling punt. Fair catch called for by Blasi at the 49-yard line, and he hauls it in. And Middletown will start just a yard on their own side of the field. Right now, let's take it down to our Matt Demme.
Yes, the sideline down here, it's not very wet at all. If you rub your hand on the grass, you'll pick up a little water, but not much at all. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Matt Demme. Middletown comes up 1st and 10. They've scored on their first 3 possessions of the football game. They've got a wing to the far side, and the backs are split in the backfield behind Blasi. He calls the signals. 10:16 left to go here in this second quarter. Blasi fakes the give to the left side and evades tacklers in the backfield. He cuts a couple times and gets up to midfield. A good job by Blasi getting a gain of 1 on the play. 2nd and 9 coming up for Middletown.
Yeah, good move. You know, just kind of dip the shoulder down a little bit, let the defender run right past you, having a hard time grabbing on to him, and he stepped out of the way. Bad thing was some of his blockers in front kind of stopped for a second and let their man go, and that's why he didn't pick up anything else, but an excellent effort to get back to the original line of scrimmage.
Backs are split again in the backfield. Dupes and Sayers are to the near side. Give is up the middle to Baker. Quick hitter play behind Coleman. He picks up 3 yards on the carry. Gets it over to the 47-yard line of the Trojans, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 5 from Middletown.
I'll tell you, Brian, this Hershey Park Stadium field is not in as good a shape as what we have seen in years past. I think the summer concert series has taken its toll out here, because as you look at the north end of the stadium, from the 50 on up, very, very dry. A lot of brown patches out there, a lot of thinness as part of the grass is concerned all the way up to the end zone. And it's just not in the middle of the field either. It's even on the near side. You know, they try to make a lot of money out here at the stadium and, of course, hold concerts, and you can't fault them for that. But I'll tell you, they must have had a hard time doing field management, because it just didn't get the job done.
And you've also got 2 football teams, Hershey and Lower Dauphin, both playing their home games on this field. So not a lot of time for maintenance during the week. It's getting used every week. Middletown 3rd down, and we'll call it a short 6. The give is to Coleman. The counter crisscross over to Dupes, and he's pulled down. The only man over there was Chad Dale, or Dupes was gone. Instead, no gain on the play, and Middletown will have to punt.
Good call there, because Dale made an excellent stop, open field tackle, and you know, if Dupes had gotten by him, he was off to the races. Good call, I think, offensively to make that call. People aren't familiar with the counter crisscross. It's more just like a quick reverse in the backfield, a little quick give to the running back, and then to the wing back coming back the opposite way, but that time didn't net it.
J.J. Baker stands at his own 41-yard line, ready to do the punting. Takes the ball, quick drop, a low liner. Taken at the 15-yard line. With the ball now is Brian Harper. He runs to the near side, and just nothing there. A 2-yard return for Harper, or he's brought down by a host of Raiders, including Craig Rowell.
Mark Sevenak was down there as well. Jesse Dupes, they were not going to let him get very far.
So again, Hershey not good field position as they're starting from their own 17. 8:03 left to go here in the second quarter. Middletown leading 21-0 over Hershey. Dale lines up as a wing to the near side. Backs are split in the backfield, split to the far side behind the quarterback, Josh Weidman. He calls the signals, 1st down and 10 from his own 17-yard line. The give is to Yink, sweeping to the near side. He squeezes out a couple yards, not a lot of blocking up front for him. In on the play was Mike O'Donnell for Middletown. Gain of 2, and we'll call it 2nd down and 8.
Well, we were wondering before the game about Shirk at center for Middletown and whether or not he would be playing, and there was some question whether he would be starting at center or not. And you had mentioned the fact that the Raiders would have probably gone with a junior varsity player, but I asked Dennis Etsy, who's next? Who do you throw in next? And the next person would be Mike Dupes, who plays both ways, and if they need him at center, they can use him. He, of course, does the long snaps for Middletown.
In motion is Yinks to the near side on this 2nd down and 8 play. Back to pass is Weidman, throwing it up to his big tight end. Incomplete. Coverage on the play on Fred Weaver was given by Jan Michael Lawrence to the near side. But really, ball overthrown just a little bit, and Weidman not a lot of time to throw the ball again.
Yeah, Weidman 0 for 4 now in passing in this game. I'll tell you, we show the replay again. I think Lawrence had a little bit of the jersey there on the play of the Hershey intended receiver, Fred Weaver. You really couldn't see it that well. Maybe the referee was screened down. I don't know how hard he was grabbing, if he was grabbing, but the hand was up there.
It's a 3rd down and 7 from Hershey's 20-yard line for the Trojans. The give is up the middle, and almost nothing there for Groff. He falls forward for about 3 yards, but Middletown had that play well defensed, and it will bring up a 4th down, and Hershey again is going to have to punt on 4th and 4.
Coming up at halftime, Raider fans, we'll be talking with Craig Rowell, senior lineman for the Middletown Blue Raiders. Also tonight, after this football game, we'll be talking in our feature of Middletown Forum. We'll tell you all about that in a second.
Jay Taylor at his own 10, a high snap. Gets the ball away nicely, though, and Deuce trying to catch the ball. It's fumbled, and the ball is going to be Middletown. Middletown football. And coming into this football game, John, I thought that the height that Taylor got on the punts was going to be a problem, that Middletown would fumble probably at least one of them, and that's what we saw there.
Dukes that time just kind of leaned out. He saw that all of a sudden the ball was kind of dying a couple feet in front of him, just kind of leaned out. He really didn't step up as far as he should have, and ball got at the end of the fingertips and bounced out, and luckily he dove on it.
6 minutes and counting left to go in this first half. Middletown a 21-0 lead, starting things off from their own 40-yard line. Baker directly behind Blasey, and the give is to Coleman going right side. Cuts to the inside at the 45, jukes one move at the 50, cuts back inside of the 45, and knocked down at the Hershey 40-yard line. Give him 19 yards on the carry, and a Middletown first down.
I'll tell you, he's got Brian Harper just kicking himself right now, because Harper pretty much had him one-on-one around the 45, 50-yard line. He just faked him out. Harper went down, and he managed to pick up another 8, 9 yards on the carry.
This time you've got wide outs to either side. Baker directly behind, and the give is to Coleman on the left side. Cuts it back up the middle and drives forward for a gain of 8 yards. It'll bring up a second down, and they're going to give him 9 on the carry. 2nd and 1 at the Hershey 31-yard line.
Coming up tonight on Middletown Forum immediately after the game, Rich Weinstein, coordinator of student services for the Middletown School District, talking about all the counseling services the Middletown School District offers all students from kindergarten through their senior year, and also for the parents. So if you're a parent in the Middletown School District, stick around after the game.
2 tight ends in the ball game from Middletown, wing to the far side. Give is to Baker going wide side, and he drives forward. Big hole behind that big offensive line, all the way up to the 21-yard line, a gain of 10 more for Middletown, and another Blue Raider first down with 4:41 left to go here in the first half.
Now the Raiders right now dominating on the special teams, dominating on the ground game. Now we have an official's timeout on the field, actually a timeout for Hershey.
We're going to take a break as we have a break in the action. 4:37 left to go here in the second quarter. Middletown leading Hershey by a score of 21-0. We'll be back with more on the Blue Raider Sports Network.
Now you can catch the excitement of Blue Raider football on videotape. The Blue Raider Sports Network and the Middletown Athletic Department presents Middletown football on VHS. All the games, home or away, recorded on videotape with the actual WMSS broadcast. Save all the exciting moments of Middletown football for years to come. Each tape costs just $10, and proceeds benefits WMSS Student Radio and Middletown Athletics. You'll never miss a game again. Tapes available at all Middletown home games or by calling the Middletown Recreation and Athletic Office. Get your Middletown football game tape today.
Welcome back to Hershey Park Stadium. Brian Kaiser along with John Wilsbauer. 4:37 left to go in the first half. And the Blue Raiders behind 3 J.J. Baker touchdown runs have a 21-0 lead.
And J.J. Baker with 79 yards so far in the game. Gary Coleman with 78 yards. And again, a dominating ground game. I'd like to see maybe get that passing game going a little bit. When you're up by a score like this and the ground game's working so much, let's throw in a few more passes here and try getting that passing game going. You're going to need it down the stretch of the season.
Middletown running unbalanced line to the left. They've got 4 men to the left of the center. The give is to Baker. He goes just off the right side and has good yardage up to the 14 to the 13-yard line. A gain of 8 more for Baker. The Middletown fullback just huge holes by the offensive line.
Yeah, and also some how not to tackle clinics, because Hershey's just trying to go for the body, going high, and Baker's just bouncing off him, spinning off of him, and picking up the extra yardage.
Second down and a short 3 from Middletown. And again, they're going to run double tight formation now, wing to the near side. Second down and 3 from the Hershey 14. Blasey calling the signals. The give is to Coleman going left side, cuts inside at the 10, at the 5, and brought down at the 3-yard line. Another Blue Raider first down after an 11-yard pickup for Gary Coleman. And along with the yardage that Middletown continues to chew up, they're chewing up a lot of time off the first half clock. We're down to 3:50 here in the second quarter.
Well, who do you think they're going to give it to now that they're in this close?
Oh, the last 2 times it's been Baker, but you never can tell with Dennis Etsy. He's just one of those coaches that, see, there's Coleman around the right side. He's got a lot of daylight into the end zone. Touchdown, Gary Coleman. He crushed you up there a little bit, John, and it's 27-0. Middletown, the last 6 points on a 3-yard touchdown run by Gary Coleman.
What you called it? You said, hey, Baker's got it. He's going to change it up. He did. Coleman to the right side, looking for the hole. He found it off the right end and just all of a sudden made the cut, made the dash. Easy stand-up touchdown.
3:30 left to go in this first half, and this one so far is a run. Middletown 27-0, extra point pending. Chris Blasi ready to kick it away. Neil Legor is the holder. He puts it down. The boot is up, and it no good. Very ugly to the right side. The snap, the hold were both good. Blasi just didn't get any of it. We're going to take a break. Break in the action with 3:30 left to go in the first half. Middletown dominating Hershey by a score of 27-0 here on the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
Metzler's Hillsdale Nursery in Londonderry Township has a variety of plants and flowers like hollies and azaleas. They sell young plum and crabapple trees. In December, don't forget that Metzler's has Christmas trees. They even have mulch. Metzler's is open 8 a.m. till 7 p.m. weekdays, 8 till 5 on Saturdays. That's Metzler's Hillsdale Nursery at Hillsdale Road and Geyers Church Road near Sunset Golf Course in Londonderry Township.
Welcome back to Hershey Park Stadium. Brian Casual with John Wilsbach, Steve Leedy, Matt Demi, our wireless microphone man, and of course, we'd really be remiss not to mention our wonderful engineer, Tim Starlipper.
Yeah, he supplies the nasty nachos up here. And I'll tell you, they're as bad as the sewage plant back here behind us, kind of blowing in.
Chris Blasi to kick the ball off once again for Middletown at his own 40. This time gets the ball up in the air, drives it down and bounces high at the 17, picked up by the deep back, and he's got some room up the middle. Brings it back to the 42-yard line. That was Albert Cherubini. One of the first times he's touched the ball in this football game, and Cherubini runs back to the sideline after a return for Hershey of 25 yards on that play. Just went right up the middle.
Well, Hershey's looking for something to get them sparked here, looking something to get them going. Hopefully this good field position will.
Split backfield. Yanks is in motion to the near side. The give is on the counter. Back to pass and throwing incomplete. I got faked out on that play as it was Weidman rolling to the near side and throwing incomplete. Looking for his tight end, Fred Weaver, downfield.
Yeah, beautiful fake counter in the backfield and a beautiful play action as Weidman was scrambling to the right side. Throwing in the triple coverage, that's what I can't understand because the Raiders almost had a chance to pick that one off.
Well, he is a sophomore, not a lot of experience at the varsity level, and thrown into action, and again, the backup is a freshman. 3 men in the backfield for Hershey. Split to the far side. Yanks in motion to the far side. The give this time is to Dale, and he's stuffed in the backfield. Big play for Middletown. J.J. Baker was the first man there. A loss of 2 for Hershey. They'll have a second down and 12 at their own 41-yard line. John, I'm interested to see why Albert Cherubini is not in this ball game for Hershey. He's just over there on the sideline, standing and watching the action.
Yeah, Gump May mentioned nothing to me before the game. In fact, he was quite complimentary about his running back, Cherubini, and also Yanks, but mentioned nothing of that, and who knows? Maybe he was holding something back about an injury or something.
Dan Ecavoni to the near side as a wideout. Backs again split in the backfield. In motion is Yanks coming near side. Third down and 12 from their own 41-yard line. Baker coming. They set up the middle screen, and it's complete. He's got a man and brought down at the line of scrimmage. That was Fred Weaver, the tight end, the 6'3", 225-pounder, but he ended up just getting back to the line of scrimmage on that play because of the rush from Baker.
Well, again, you mentioned a middle screen, and that's about what it was because he had no blockers at all around him. The blockers were pretty much set up to the right side. Weaver got the football, and he had about 3 defenders in front of him.
And Middletown going to get another opportunity to get the ball back as Taylor punting. Blasey fair catch at his own 20. And Middletown with 1:30 left to go in this first half will have another opportunity to take the ball. 27-0 our score in favor of Middletown.
1 yard line.
And the Blue Raiders just very impressive so far in this first half. At halftime again, interview with Middletown's two-way starter Craig Rao, and also Steve Leedy with the halftime statistics, and also the playoff picture as we see it in District 3. And that all coming up at halftime.
Oh, we're only 5 games into the season here.
Baker up the middle, picks up 5 behind the unbalanced line. He's going to be up to the 25-yard line, 2nd down and 6 for Middletown.
Well, we are halfway through the season, and that's when you do have to start looking at the playoff picture. And a lot of folks were looking at a paper this past week, seeing the standings, saying, Middletown's not in there. They must not have a chance. Well, folks, we will take all those worries off your mind tonight and run down that playoff picture for you, even though we're at the midway point of the season right now.
Inside of a minute left to go here in the second quarter. 2nd down and 6 for Middletown at their own 25-yard line. 3 backs in the backfield. Blasey gives to Dupes up the middle, and he's brought down for a loss of a yard. Nice penetration there from the Hershey front. In there first, I believe, it was John Dunn, defensive tackle for Hershey. And Middletown content just to let the clock tick away. They're going to go into halftime with the commanding lead.
Now, we mentioned about the interview at halftime, and again, I want to emphasize our Middletown Forum after the game. It's a repeat of this past Sunday. It's with Rich Weinstein. And if any of you are parents out there in the Middletown School District, or you know of a parent, tell them, tune into this show, especially if they have a child who's maybe having problems in school or discipline problems. Very important show tonight after the game, so you want to be tuned in for that.
5 seconds left to go. Blasey gives to Coleman, cuts inside at the 30 and brought down at the 34. First down for Middletown, the last play of the first half. Middletown, oh, what a feeling they have after one half of football. 27-0 the score. There's a flag on the play, and Middletown is going to be content. Both teams actually going to be content just to say, that's enough for this half. Let's go into the locker rooms and talk things over. Hershey's got a lot to talk about. Middletown, not near as much. J.J. Baker, 3 touchdown runs. Gary Coleman with the final one. And after one half of football here at Hershey Park Stadium, our score, Middletown 27. The Hershey Trojans, nothing. We'll be back with the halftime show. Interview with Craig Rao coming up after this on the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
Kelly's Golf of Middle is about to kick it off. Blasey's going to do the honors for the Raiders to open off the second half. Short kick taken by a sliding Hershey player. I believe that was Dan Yanks. He kind of like fielding a fly ball and kind of slid right under it, and he dropped onto the ground. And that's where Hershey will start things off here in the second half.
And a 27-0 score in favor of Middletown. But Middletown, again, Gary Coleman thrown out of the football game for retaliation. That's at least the word we have now. Our Matt Demme is trying to confirm this report down on the sideline, and we'll have a word from him very shortly about that situation. Coleman thrown out after the last play of the first half of this football game.
Now Hershey comes out, split backfield slot, and split to the near side. Weidman, the quarterback, calls the signals on 1st and 10 from their own 39. Weidman takes a snap, hands it off up the middle. Looks like, not sure who that was. That's Cherubini, and there he was.
Well, the mystery man, we didn't see him much at all in that first half, and all of a sudden, there he is. They tried running him up the middle, and just nothing there. The Middletown Blue Raiders shutting down the middle of that defense, of the offensive line for Hershey. Just nothing up the middle for Hershey. They're trying, the only time they're really picking up any yardage is going out around the tackle areas. They're not getting to the outside. They're not going right up the middle. They have to run more off tackle between guard and tackle. That's where they're picking up any yardage they're getting on the ground.
2nd and 9 for the Trojans from their own 40. Slot and split near side. Wyman will drop back to pass. Heavy pressure. Fires across the middle. Picked off by Jesse Dukes of Middletown. He's at the 46 of Hershey, and he finally gets wrapped up. And that's a turnover for the Hershey Trojans. Not what they needed to open off the second half.
And again, another young quarterback mistake. You got your young quarterback, the sophomore Weidman, back to pass. He's getting pressured from either side. Both defensive ends in there for Middletown on that play, and he just saw his man momentarily, fired the ball to him, and Duke stepped right in front. Middletown with double coverage, maybe even triple coverage on that play for the interception.
1st and 10 from the Hershey 45-yard line. Blasey over center will turn around, hand it off to Baker off the near side. Gets held up at about the 42-yard line. Ball squirts loose. It's on the ground, and looks like Middletown is going to keep it, I believe.
Actually, somebody better let the officials know that Hershey came out of the pile with the ball, because it was David Umberger who brings the ball out of the pile. Meanwhile, the referees are still looking in the pile for the football. Here's Umberger saying, "Hey, here, I got it." Tosses it back to the referees, and it hit one of them in the back. He's like, "Wait, who threw that to me?" Somebody else had to tell him what was going on in that situation, but a fumble by Baker gives Hershey the ball.
9:45 left to play here in the 3rd quarter, and we've had 2 back-to-back turnovers. Now Hershey with the ball again. Weidman over center, split backfield, wing near side, handoffs. Going to go up the middle to Cherubini, and he's going to pick up about 5 yards on the play. And Cherubini now in the game for Hershey. Didn't see him in the first half on offense.
Well, it's a good sign for Hershey that they've got it back in hand. The bad sign is they're down by 27 points already before he makes his initial offensive series appearance for the Trojans. But a little bit of room there, and Cherubini showing what he can do once he gets into a little bit of an open field. Hershey taking a lot of time, but the officials will call time on this play.
Looks like there's an equipment problem with Corey Reed of Middletown. He's going to go off the field.
Well, Corey Reed is a guy who's going to have to play now on defense for Middletown since Coleman was ejected. Steve Rarer comes in his place now at defensive end with Reed off with the equipment problem. And on offense for Middletown, it's Mike Treader, the sophomore, who is the backup tailback for Middletown.
Cherubini and Yingst in the backfield. Weidman over center. Will hand it off in the backfield to Yingst, and he's wrapped up by a bunch of Middletown players. It's going to be a loss of a few yards. Nice play by the Middletown defense.
They're just not, Hershey, that is just not able to get any blocking up the middle whatsoever. Middletown just blowing them right off the ball. The front four basically of Fox, Rao, also basically whoever they put at the other defensive tackle position, along with either Rare or Corey Reed or Coleman in the first half. They're just blowing Hershey off the ball right now.
Tight end and wing near side for Weidman. He hands it off to Yingst in the backfield again, cutting around near side. Makes one nice move and gets a few yards. He's going to be actually close to the first down here. Looks like he's going to be a little bit shy. It'll be about a 6-yard pickup. It's going to bring up a 4th and very short.
And Middletown gambled that time, trying to guess that the play was going to go to the far side. Instead, to the near side came Yingst with the carry, and only a couple players to beat on that play as they attack Steve Rare, the defensive end, who's in the game right now because of the equipment problem for Corey Reed and the ejection of Gary Coleman. And the only other player over there for Middletown was Jesse Dupes, and when you've got one-on-one blocking, it's all a matter of the running back using his block well, and that's what Yingst did that time. Played off of his block. Now he's going to be just a little bit short of the first down, but obviously in this situation, Hershey's going to have to go for it on 4th down.
No doubt about it. From the 48-yard line of Middletown, Hershey will definitely go for it, trailing by 27 points with 7:54 left to go in the 3rd quarter. They're about a foot shy of the first down marker. Don't look for anything fancy from the Trojans here. Either quarterback sneak or just power it up the middle. I would say the quarterback sneak would be the best bet.
I bet you're going to see Cherubini up the middle.
Now Cherubini in the backfield along with Groff. Weidman will take the snap. He gives it to Cherubini, and Cherubini gets nailed behind the line of scrimmage, and I don't think he's got it.
I said you'll probably see Cherubini. I didn't say they were going to make the first down. Great penetration again from Middletown. And instead of just going with the quick header up the middle, instead it was Hershey. They're not even going to bother measuring this one because they weren't even close on the play. Hershey with the little bit of a delay with starting that play off in the backfield. Cherubini with a step back and then started the play off to the right. And by that time, the Middletown defensive line was able to beat their blocks, get good penetration, and make the stop on Cherubini in the backfield. Middletown gets the ball on downs.
So now Middletown's going to take over on the Hershey 49-yard line. Blasi, the quarterback, as Twins far side. Quick pop pass, actually a lateral back to Jesse Dupes. He catches it at the 47-yard line, crosses the 50, and gets out to about the 47. It's going to be a pickup of about 4.
They call that a 5-yard run that time for Jesse Dupes, as Dupes picking up 5 yards from the play. Because it was a lateral, it's not considered a completion for Blasi. Instead, it is a 5-yard run for Dupes on the play. And Dupes, a couple good moves in the free space on the outside.
Wing near side, tight end far side, split backfield. Blasi on 2nd and 5 will hand the ball off to Treader. I believe he's the man that got the ball, and if it is him, he got 1 yard, and that's who it is, Mike Treader. We'll give him 1 yard. It'll bring up a 3rd and 4.
Well, the good thing for Middletown about Gary Coleman not playing in the second half is the fact that you've got a young guy like Treader who now has an opportunity to get a lot of experience in that tailback position. In case something heaven forbid something would happen to Gary Coleman. The injury bug has hit Middletown hard already this year on the offensive line, but if something would happen to Coleman, they really don't have anybody experienced to go to that halfback position. This is the chance for Treader to show what he's got back there.
Split far side, wing on both sides. Now Dupes goes in motion to the far side. Now Blasi goes back to pass, steps up in the pocket, got a little bit of trouble, escapes that, runs to the far side, fires across the middle. It's complete to Jeff Sayers. Good enough for the first down.
That's Brian Sayers at the 40-yard line. And
Jeff Sayers, he played basketball a few years.
Well, Brian Sayers, this is a kid who, he's a guy, he's a junior, 5'10", 165 pounds. This is a guy the coaches weren't really expecting to be a big contributor. Instead, this is a guy who worked hard in the offseason and really has nice hands. Went up nicely for that ball, got good position, and Blasi threaded the needle right to him for the first down.
Same set to the different side. Now Dupes is going to get it running around near side, and he's not going to get much, maybe a yard. And it was not 4th and 10 as the linesman had on the far side. It'll be 2nd and 9.
And it was not Dupes, it was Mike Treader on that play, and that's where he's more comfortable. It's tough to see from up here between 5 and 15, Treader and Dupes, but Treader likes to run from that wing position. He's a little more comfortable in the wing-back position right now than he is from the tailback, and because of that, you'll probably see Middletown run a lot more double wing in this second half because Treader likes that wing position.
Now Treader and Baker split in the backfield. Wing-back is Lawrence. Tight ends on both sides. We got movement on the line, and I'm not sure it's going to be against. I think it may be against Middletown.
It's going to be against Middletown. Right now, we're going to go down on the sideline to our Matt Demme.
I got the complete story on Gary Coleman on the last play of the game. He was on the bottom, last play of the first half, I should say. He was on the bottom of the pile, and he felt he got a cheap shot to the head after the whistle by a Hershey player. He got up, and he took a swipe at the guy in his midsection, and the referees only saw him take a swipe, and that's how he got kicked out of the game. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Matt. On 2nd and 14 for Middletown, the runner was J.J. Baker. And he picked up about 6 yards up the middle, bring up a 3rd and 8 for the Raiders on the Hershey 38-yard line with 3:53 left to play. Third quarter, 27-0. Middletown over Hershey.
I can just imagine the conversation between the referees and Gary Coleman afterwards. After that play, after he took a swipe, the referees were trying to say, "Hey, you swung first," and Coleman said, "What are you talking about?" I'm sorry, that was just too easy.
Double wing for Middletown, and flags thrown.
Yes, I did watch different strokes.
Yeah. It's like an encroachment penalty against Middletown.
Interesting. Encroachment, it's kind of difficult for encroachment to be against the offense, even though that's what the call was. Basically, what that would have had to be for Middletown is somebody lining up offsides on that play. In that case, that's the only way encroachment can be called against the offense. Brian Sino, incidentally, is the center for Middletown because Eric Shirk bruised the collateral ligament in his knee, and because of that, Sino, the junior varsity starting center, is the center for Middletown in this ball game.
Third and 13, Blasey back to pass, goes across the middle, had Dukes, and the ball went right through his hands. Little behind him, but it was a catchable ball, and Dukes is hitting himself in the helmet. He knows he should have had 6 on that play.
Well, if not 6, it's just a huge game because, yes, the ball was thrown a little bit behind Dukes, but in that situation, he had a chance to get his hands on the ball. It's not an easy catch. Not saying that it was, but it was a catchable ball, and Blasey did not throw the ball too poorly. It was a very strong throw down the middle, and because of the incompletion, Middletown going to punt.
J.J. Baker will stand at his own 44-yard line to do the punting for Middletown. Back deep to receive is Yingst, and also Cherubini for the Trojan. Fumbled by Yingst when he picked it up at the 15. Now he is finally stopped, and ball pops loose again, and Middletown, it seems will have the ball, and they do.
Fumble on the play, recovered by Middletown.
Mike Treader on the fumble recovery for the Raiders, and tell you, Yingst could never get his palms on the ball there.
Yeah, that was just a whole lot of trouble there for Hershey the entire way there. Yingst dropped the ball initially and then never got started upfield and bounced off about 4 Middletown tacklers who just didn't bother tackling him, just wanted the big hit on the special teams. And I thought for a second Yingst might be able to break it. Instead, it was Jesse Dukes with the strip, Treader with the recovery, Middletown in business.
Split backfield handoff's going to go to Baker. He's going to go to the far side and pick up a good 10 yards while driving those legs before he's finally brought down at the 5.
J.J. Baker, the ball carrier for Middletown.
And it's going to be real close to another first down for Middletown.
The one knock on Baker is he seems to run every once in a while a little bit too high, and that's the only thing that stopped him on that play. For a fullback, you like to stay down low, and he's slow through the line of scrimmage most of the time. After he gets 2-3 yards downfield, that's when he stands up just a little bit, and Hershey able to bring him down because of that.
They'll go to Baker again off the far side once again, and he'll pick up a few down to about the 3-yard line.
And again, it was Baker, quick hitter through the right side of the line into the hole. And again, in that situation, he got through the line of scrimmage low and was stood up. And after you get Baker stood up, it's a lot easier to bring him down because he's not low and compact to the ground where he does his most bruising running. But again, it's another first down for Middletown. Baker already 3 touchdowns. Wouldn't be surprised to see him get the ball again.
Split backfield. Baker and Treader. Dukes is the wing back. Blasey over center, and they got 2 tight ends on the far side. A little bit of motion. Looks like Craig Rouse going to be nabbed for a little bit of offsides work on first and goal at the 3.
Well, that's that unbalanced line. The Middletown's running to the far side. They had both Rao and Fox along with Schiavone over to the right side of the line. Baker looked like he was going to get the carry on that one. He's got 13 carries, 109 yards in this football game, 3 touchdowns for the Blue Raiders. But just a little bit over anxious there was Craig Rao, and the question is it just moving Middletown back 8 yards so they can get an extra 5 yards of total offense, or will Hershey be able to stop Middletown in this situation? penalty on Middletown. George Groff, they're going to say he was offsides before Rowell was.
And they called it against Hershey, and it's going to go down to about the 1.5-yard line, and Baker and Treader split in the backfield. Wing to the near side, 2 tight ends far side, and off goes to Baker, and J.J. Baker, the touchdown maker, in the end zone once again tonight. And Middletown leads this ball game 33-0.
4th touchdown for Baker. Just great penetration again from the offensive line. The Blue Raiders winning this football game in the trenches, just going right up the middle. And Hershey, not a big team, and that's really hurting them in this situation. Middletown's got those big horses up front. That offensive line, no matter if you're on the 2nd or 3rd string, you've still got some big players in there from Middletown, regardless of their level. It's tough to beat size up the middle unless you've got superior technique, and it looks like you've got equal teams here in that regard, so Middletown's got the size advantage.
And the extra point is shanked to the near side by Chris Blasi, so score remains at 33-0. Break on the field. We'll take one as well. 1:06 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Middletown 33, Hershey nothing, here on the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
Now you can catch the excitement of Blue Raider football on videotape. The Blue Raiders Sports Network and the Middletown Athletic Department presents Middletown football on VHS. All the games, home or away, recorded on videotape with the actual WMSS broadcast. Save all the exciting moments of Middletown football for years to come. Each tape costs just $10, and proceeds benefits WMSS Student Radio and Middletown Athletics. You'll never miss a game again. Tapes available at all Middletown home games or by calling the Middletown Recreation and Athletic Office. Get your Middletown football game tape today.
And welcome back to Hershey Park Stadium. Middletown leads by a score of 33-0. Chris Blasi to kick for the Raiders. Cherubini back deep for the Trojans. He won't get it. It's going to go far side to Yinks, and he has trouble picking up once again. He finally does it to 20 and gets knocked down at the 26-yard line. Hershey.
Big hit from Randy Hefner on the special teams for Middletown. As again, the ball hit off of Yanks' foot at the 20-yard line. Instead, he was trying to play it off the hop. Instead, hit his foot and just died on the ground. He picks it up, and then Hefner cleans him up after a 5-yard return. That last drive for Middletown took 3 plays, 15 yards, a minute 34 was all it took. 2-yard touchdown run from J.J. Baker, set up by the Mike Treader fumble recovery of a fumble from Dan Yingst on the punt return.
Hershey with a split backfield. Handoff goes up the middle to, I believe it's Cherubini. And he's going to pick up a couple yards. Should be a 2nd and about 8 for the Trojans.
And Cherubini's got a lot of speed. You really have to wonder. Middletown is just playing so well between the tackles right now. You've got to wonder why Hershey isn't trying to go more to the outside with their running game. Maybe try to pitch sweep Cherubini, who's coming out of the ball game right now. We've got a new quarterback in the game.
Yes, we do. Todd Ainsworth is in the game for the Hershey Trojans.
And he's a freshman, folks. So
he's a freshman. Split backfield, wing near side and far side, but they're not going to get it off. That will bring about the end of the 3rd quarter. With the score, Middletown 33, Hershey nothing. We'll be back here on the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
Talk about service.
The people here are so friendly. They're just terrific.
Talk about value.
I like Fox's because of the convenience, the quality, the prices.
Talk about quality fresh gas.
I especially like the meats and the produce.
Let's talk about all the reasons why Fox's Market. Make you feel good. Fox's Market.
Fox's is a proud supporter of Middletown Athletics.
Make you feel good. Fox's Market. Make you feel good.
Welcome back, Hershey Park Stadium. John Wilsbach back in the booth with Brian Kaiser, Steve Leedy.
And please, if you're watching this on videotape right now, please excuse our cameraman. I believe he's moving in time to the music. Oh my! If you can only see what we're seeing right now, folks.
I had to decipher my stats that I was doing for them in the third quarter. Hopefully I didn't do them too bad, but Hershey has some football. And they trail 33-0. It's a 2nd and 9. Yinks goes in motion, a trips formation. Trojans back to pass down the right side, and incomplete. Jan Michael Lawrence almost had a chance at it. It will bring up a 3rd and 9 for Hershey.
And Josh Schiavone came on the weak side, blitz there, and just leveled the quarterback Ainsworth. Just as he threw the ball, and Ainsworth, and I think he felt the pressure coming just a little bit because he just rushed that throw just the slightest bit, overthrew his man, and after he threw it, he paid the price. Schiavone laid him out.
Well, let's mention again that Ainsworth is a freshman, 5'11", 142 pounds. 3rd and 9. Hershey with the football at their own 27-yard line and a slot to the far side. Backs are split, and the right guard jumps offside, that being Joe Bernardo for Hershey, and they'll mark it back 5.
The bottom line in this ball game, regardless of how bad your stats are, John Wolfsbach, the bottom line is this: Middletown has dominated this game from the opening kick, and because of that, they have a 33-0 lead. 4 touchdown runs this evening for J.J. Baker, 1 for Gary Coleman, and Coleman over on the sideline right now, watching the rest of these proceedings. He was ejected from the football game because of an incident on the last play of the first half.
3rd down and about 13 for Hershey at their own 24. Give DeGroff in the backfield, gets across the 25 out to the 27-yard line.
Because of the problems that Hershey has had with the passing game in this football game, because of that, Middletown able to stack the defense against the run and not have to worry a lot about a situation where they have to defend the pass. And because of that, Hershey has had a very tough go of it in running the football, and they'll have to punt once again here.
Low wobbly punt. Raiders will take it. Jesse Dupes back at his own 35 and gets up to the 39-yard line before being taken down by about 3. Hershey Trojans in Middletown will get the football back. They lead at 33-0 with 11:09 to play here in the fourth quarter. Blue Raider football back home next Friday night at Middletown Memorial Football Stadium. And, of course, you can purchase video cassettes of Middletown Blue Raider home and away football games. And you can also purchase Middletown Blue Raider WMSS mugs, coffee mugs. So look for the little stand out there when you come into the stadium. We certainly can use your help, and we hope that you purchase a mug from WMSS and a videotape next week. Blasey still in, and quarterback gives to Tretter, sweeping to the left side, up to the 45 and taken down at the 47-yard line. WMSS mugs are white with the blue and gold lettering, the WMSS logo on one side, Middletown Blue Raider on the other, and makes for great Christmas gifts, too. You're not going to comment on that, are you?
No.
2nd and 2. Hey, it's,
hot chocolate.
It's not,
hot chocolate's very
right.
good, and
not,
coffee.
Not too early to start thinking about that. Give to Lawrence, sweeping the left side, gets across midfield and knocked out of bounds at the 45 of Hershey for a first down for Middletown.
Jan Michael Lawrence is a guy who really thought that he might be a little bit more of a factor on offense for Middletown during the season. And because of injuries and also the strong play of Jesse Dupes, we haven't seen him a lot on the offensive end of things, except when things have gotten out of hand for Middletown. But hey, he's a guy who's very quick, very aggressive with the football when he gets it, and it makes a couple nice moves there and picks up a first down for the Blue Raiders.
1st and 10 for Middletown at the 45. Blasey gives in the backfield. Big run up the middle by Corey Reed out to the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 5. And now a late flag thrown again as we're getting a little extracurricular activity down there on the piles. And we saw it happen near the end of the first half, and Dennis Etsy certainly had given an earful to the referees. And they are on the far side of the field right now in front of Middletown, and you can bet they're saying it again, but they don't have to. They got help that time as a personal fouls against Hershey.
Well, Steve Rare was the last guy out of the pile for Middletown. He wasn't too happy about what was going on, so I'll assume in that situation that he was the recipient of the personal foul.
Well, Bob May told us before the game, the Hershey coach, he said we're going to be like junkyard dogs out there, and, well, they're showing it right now.
Their entire game is going to the dogs here tonight, folks.
Oh, it's going to the junkyard.
Well, they better throw that one on the scrap heap because 33-0, they just have not been able to stop this Middletown team at all in this football game. J.J. Baker, really the major contributor here for Middletown, as he's got 4 touchdowns and just a whole heap of yards on this night.
The senior Corey Reed is the lone setback for Middletown with a double wing. 1st and 10 at the 25 of Hershey. Fumbled snap. Blasey picks it up. He runs down the middle of the 25 to 15 and down at the 12-yard line. Check that mark. Sevenak, the quarterback for Middletown on the run.
And Sevenak, the reason he dropped that ball, I believe, is because he saw the blitz coming up the middle and tried to rush the play just a little bit. Stepped back and left before the snap, got securely in his hands, had the presence of mind to pick the ball up and then run right into the hole where the play was intended to go, and Middletown's offensive line didn't know it, never stopped, dropped the beat there.
Sevenak gives to Treader, sweeping to the left. He's after the 10. He's at the 5. Touchdown! Mike Treader! 13-yard touchdown carry. And Middletown now leads it 39-0.
And that's a good one from Mike Treader. One to remember, his first touchdown here on the varsity level as he got that sweep to the left side and made a nice little move, faked it. The last man who had a chance on him, faked him to the inside and broke it back out to the outside for the touchdown, his first of his varsity career.
Yeah, Sevenak almost fumbled the snap again on that one. Kind of bobbled a little bit, but able to collect it and got it in the hands of Treader. 2 minutes and 7 seconds on that drive. 5 plays for 60 yards for the Raiders. Blasey in for the extra point. The kick is up, and this one will make it good. Timeout, 9:04 to play. Here in the 4th quarter, it's Middletown 40 and Hershey nothing. This is the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
Daly's Golf of Middletown caters to the avid Blue Raider sports fan. Daly's Golf has minor engine repair, oil changes, new tire installation. In fact, they do just about everything automotive. Joe Daly or any one of the fine mechanics at Daly's Golf will help you with your automotive needs. Daly's is open Monday through Friday, beginning with early bird service at 5:30 a.m. till 9 p.m. or Saturday from 7 till 5. Daly's Golf at the corner of Main and Spruce Streets in Middletown.
Welcome back. John Wilspot, Brian Kaiser, Steve Leedy, Scott Bingerman, Matt Demme on the sideline with a wireless mic, Brian Greenfield. Our studio engineer and our on-site engineer, Tim Starlepper. Where would we be without our engineers?
Probably on the air most of the time.
Oh no, you're on the second level up here. You know that.
I know that.
Only a joke.
No, it's only a joke. Our engineers do a fine job for us throughout the year. Our main engineer, Tim Starlepper.
Blasey kicks off, taken at the 25-yard line by Kevin Parnell, and he picks up a few yards, and Hershey will get the football 1st and 10 at its own 31-yard line. Well, we invite you to stick around after this game. We have Middletown Forum, a replay of last week's show with Rich Weinstein of the Middletown School District, coordinator of student services, and talking about all the programs Middletown School District offers for students and parents, whether it's drug and alcohol related, counseling, you name it. If you are a parent in the Middletown School District, or know of one, or know someone who's having some problems with their kids, what have you, this is an excellent show, and you don't want to miss it. Coming up after the game. Timeout on the field, 8:35 to play. 4th quarter, Middletown 40, Hershey nothing. This is the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
The moment you walk into Rhodes Pharmacy, you'll notice a difference. You'll see it in the way they act, the way they talk, and the way you're treated. Rhodes Pharmacy is under new management, so whether you need a prescription, a non-prescription item, cards, gifts, or professional advice, the friendly Rhodes staff is anxious to serve your needs. Rhodes Hummelstown store is open 7 days a week. In Middletown, Rhodes Pharmacy is open 9 to 8 Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 on Saturday.
Well, don't forget about our church lineup on Sundays on WMSS. At 9 a.m., we broadcast the Unity Church of Harrisburg. At 10 a.m., we air the Trinity United Methodist Church of Hummelstown. At 11 a.m., it's St. Peter's Lutheran Church of Middletown. At 12 noon, the Evangelical United Methodist Church of Middletown. At 2 o'clock, the 29th Street United Methodist Church of Harrisburg. At 3 o'clock, it's the Swatara Church of God. And at 4 o'clock, the Calvary Orthodox Presbyterian Church. Every Sunday on WNSS. Hershey with a football, 1st and 10, at its own 31-yard line. Back to pass, quick little slant-in pattern, gains about 5 yards to Dan Yangst.
Incomplete on the play.
And it will be incomplete. Looked like he had it, but it slipped out of his hands and hit the grass. It will bring up a 2nd and 10.
Yeah, he was anticipating the hit there because he was in the seam between two Middletown defenders that time and just tried to run with the ball before he caught it. Obviously, that's a no-no.
2nd down and 10 for Hershey. Having some problems lining up. Quarterback Ainsworth. His back split. He'll give in the backfield, and Yanks knocked once, knocked twice. Still able to eke out a yard or so on the carry. It will bring up a 3rd and 9, and we have an injured Hershey player on the field at the 30-yard line. Well, Brian, I know at halftime you're talking a little bit about the playoffs. We are 5 games now into the season, and for folks who don't know, in the playoff picture, they take 9 games, your 9 best games, including losses. So both Middletown losses this season will be included in on the rest of the playoff picture.
And you get 0 points for losses, and for wins you get however many A's the team has. If it's quad A team, you get 4 points for that. Triple A, 3.
And 2 for double A.
And 1 for single A. And for a win, it's 4 points total. So you add those together, which means the Middletown's victory over Central Dauphin, which is a quad A school, was worth 8 points. Their victory over Milton Hershey was worth 6 points because Milton Hershey is a double A school. And their losses to Bishop McDevitt and Southwestern are worth 0 points each. Therefore, they have to count those 2 games in their point total because losses and ties must count towards the playoff total. The injured Hershey player on the field, Ryan Stevens, and walking off under his own power. We'll talk about this playoff picture, if not a little bit more during this 4th quarter. We'll talk about it a little bit more in our post-game show coming up.
3rd and 9 for Hershey at their own 33-yard line. Back split, wing to the near side. Ainsworth over center. Play action. He'll roll right. He's looking. He throws way over the head of the intended receiver. And Sayers made sure that he knocked the intended receiver down immediately. I believe that, Dan Icavone. And we'll bring up a 4th and 9 for Hershey.
And again, Hershey just unable to get any passing game whatsoever going in this football game, and because of that,
well, we had a punt on the field, and Middletown blocked it, but it doesn't matter. The punter was ruled down at the 22-yard line. So Middletown will get the football again deep in Hershey territory.
And what happened was it was a bad snap, and the kicker, Jay Taylor, he's a soccer player first and foremost, and not having those football instincts, put the knee down, and you just can't do that and have possession of the football. He got it blocked anyway, so for the stats, at least he loses yardage on what is called a carry instead of getting the punt blocked and really hurting his punting stats. So for him, that's kind of good comparatively to what it could have been stat-wise, but it's still the same kind of result.
Well,
as Middletown gets the ball on the 21-yard line of Hershey after that play.
It'll be ruled a -1 punt. Leonard Brown is coming in now for the Middletown Blue Raiders.
Leonard Brown will be the quarterback, I believe is where we were getting at. Hershey on the day, 1 for 11 passing, and They have passed for a total of -1 yards, not including sacks. That one completion that they have in the football game was for -1 yards. A very impressive job done by the Middletown secondary against a Hershey team that really does not thrive on its passing game, and that's shown tonight.
Leonard Brown in a quarterback for Middletown. He'll get the left side, and Baker will be stopped at the line of scrimmage. I have to correct myself because it did not count as a punt since the punt never was knocked away out there by Jay Taylor, as you mentioned just a moment ago.
Yeah, correct yourself again. It was Terrell Daniels on the carry there. He's come in to run halfback as Middletown is now using their junior varsity players to a great extent, at least the skill positions. A lot of the junior varsity players getting some time in this game. It's 40-0 Middletown. This is a great place for Middletown junior varsity players to get some experience at the varsity level.
William Baker will be the wing back. On the left side, backs are split behind Leonard Brown, 2nd and 10. Give Corey Reed off left tackle. Gets inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. Clock counting at under 7 minutes to go here in the game. Middletown leading 40-0 over the Hershey Trojans. Leonard Brown is a sophomore for Middletown, playing starting on the junior varsity level. Brings up a 3rd and 8 for Middletown. It'll be Corey Reed, the senior, in the backfield with Daniels. Split left wing to the right. Leonard Brown, 3rd and 8 from the 18. Option play, he'll pitch it out near side. Daniels at the 20, tries cutting in, but will go nowhere as he is stopped by 3 Hershey players. And it will bring up a 4th down for Middletown at the 21 of Hershey, and the Raiders will go for it.
Yeah, there's no sense punting in this situation, and there's no sense kicking a field goal because they don't have anybody who can kick it that far. It would be a 38-yard field goal. Be able to pull that one off. So they'll go for it in this situation.
Now let's see what Leonard Brown does here. 4th and 10, back split, slot near side. Brown, it's a counter crisscross in the backfield. They give us to Baker down inside the 15, dollars at the 10, 1st down Middletown.
He played from Baker in that situation as he almost got tripped up at the 5 and managed to keep his balance long enough to stumble forward for the 1st down with 2 yards to spare. Bill Baker, he's the 2nd-string junior varsity quarterback for Middletown, and just a great job of running on that play by Baker to pick up the 1st down for Middletown, and they'll keep the clock running at 5:12 left to go in the ballgame.
1st and 10 for Middletown. Just outside the 10-yard line, they can get another first. Corey Reed up the middle. Now the give will go to Daniels. They'll mark it at the 8-yard line. It will be a 2nd down and 8 for the Raiders. Leonard Brown, the quarterback for Middletown. Backs are split. Brown, option again. He'll cut it up himself. Gets tackled at the 5, down to the 2, close to the 1. I think he fumbled the football.
I think
because they're ruling it a touchback. Hershey's football.
That's exactly what happened.
Leonard Brown got down there about the 2-yard line, had the football knocked out of his hands into the end zone, and the Trojans recover it.
It's tough to see that play all the way. That's a long way from our vantage point, so we're assuming it was a fumble, and we're getting word from the sideline that it was fumbled at the 4-yard line, and it was fumbled forward into the end zone, and Hershey recovered the football in the end zone. They will have the ball then at the 20-yard line as a result of a touchback.
And that was our Matt Demi with that spot as he's down on that far sideline. So 4:20 to play here in the 4th. It's 40-0 Middletown. Hershey with the football, 1st and 10 in its own 20. Ainsworth. Play action, back to pass, under pressure. Eludes one, but the 2nd one will get him.
DJ Kaiser with the sack on that one. The initial pressure there was from Scott Christensen on that play for Middletown, and after the quarterback Ainsworth was able to elude Christensen in the backfield, he juked right into the hands of DJ Kaiser, who brought him right down for a sack of 6 yards on the play. Second down and 16 for Hershey.
I'll give Middletown 3 sacks in this game. A total of 25 lost yards for Hershey. It is a 2nd and 16 now for the Trojans at their own 14. Ainsworth back to pass again under pressure. Unloads as he gets hit. It is intercepted. And taken in for a touchdown by Sayers. Sayers with the interception at the 15-yard line.
John, you really got to feel sorry for the Hershey quarterbacks. Ainsworth, and the starter was Weidman, but Ainsworth back to pass on that one. He just got crunched by 2 Blue Raiders on that play. Christensen was again on the hit, and that time just took enough off the ball to give Sayers enough time to step in front of the intended receiver, and he had clear sailing in the end zone as he picked that ball off almost in full stride.
We're going to roll it an 18-yard interception return for Sayers. The Raiders now lead it 46-0. And again, Blasey comes onto the field for the extra point kick. Snap. Hold, kick is up, and it is good. Timeout on the field. 3:24 to play in this game. Middletown 47, Hershey nothing. This is the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
Are you concerned about the future financial security of your family or business? When was the last time you had your life and disability insurance reviewed and your investment and retirement program analyzed? For answers to these important questions, call a professional, Tim Knoll, COU. He is a local chartered financial consultant with more than 28 years' experience. Call Tim at 939-0968 for a free consultation. That's 939-0968.
Welcome back in a blowout here at Hershey Park Stadium as Middletown leads at 47-0. And it was Brian Sayers, 5'10" junior, with the interception of Ainsworth, and Sayers takes it in from about the 18 or so, 18 to 20-yard line. Middletown just icing, more icing.
More icing on the cake.
Just get fed on this icing, did I not tell you?
Oh, my.
Blasey kicks off end over end. Dropped at the 17-yard line by the Trojans, and Elek returns it out to the 35-yard line.
Well, John, the one good thing you can say about the Hershey Trojan passing game now is they've thrown a touchdown pass. Unfortunately for them, it was to the wrong team. A total of minus 26 yards passing tonight for Hershey. That's 3 sacks for minus 25 and 1 solitary completion for minus 1 yards, and that gives us minus 26 yards passing. It's a good thing they're able to run the ball just a little bit in this football game, or they'd be negative yardage for this football game. Just not a good night for the Trojans whatsoever.
Elek ran it out to the 26. That's where Hershey sets up shop once again. Ainsworth still in at quarterback. Straight back to pass. Looks right, throws, slant in pass, complete, first down at the 40.
Almost a standing ovation as Dan Ecavone comes up with the catch for Hershey, and just the crowd responds because I think they're so used to not seeing completed passes that finally they got one, and that brings them up to a total of about minus 13 yards or so
Plus
passing.
13 now, right? 12 yards passing. Giving the backfield and going nowhere. On the carry is Mihailoff as he's tackled back at the 35-yard line.
Randy Hefner broke through the line from his middle linebacker position. Hefner's really a solid player. He's a sophomore, 5'10", 190 pounds. The coaching staff really likes this kid, and they like his hustle in practice. They really like the way he works, and he's a very intelligent player, works well at that middle linebacker position for Middletown.
2nd and 15 for Hershey at their own 35-yard line. Slot to the far side. Ainsworth throws across the middle, knocked in the air, in and out of the hands of Terrell Daniels. looking for that quick pop pass, didn't make it happen, brings up a 3rd and 15. You know, Brian, the Raiders are looking for their 2nd straight shutout. Last week against Milton Hershey, this week against Hershey.
And then they can complete the trio next week. Palmyra is on the docket next week, and that's very close to Hershey, comparatively. So
I think so, but, you know, it remains to be seen. A lot of motion at the line, and I believe it's going to be Clish jumping offside for Middletown. 1:47 to play here at Hershey Park Stadium, and the Middletown Blue Raiders with a 47-0 lead. Raiders whistled for, I believe, 3 penalties in this game.
And it's about time to name our player of the game right now with this game winding down. And really, you've got to give the nod tonight. J.J. Baker, 4 touchdown runs on the evening. Just a huge night rushing. We'll get his entire stats in the postgame show from Steve Lee.
Ainsworth back to pass, scrambling right, looking to run by William Baker is there and wraps him up. A loss of a couple. Clock continues to count. This one cannot go and end quick enough for the Hershey Trojans.
Gump Mays had a lot of memorable games in his career as the Hershey Trojans football coach, but this is one I just think he's going to try to chalk up and try to forget as soon as possible. This is when you take the game film home, look at like the first couple plays and say, gosh, we just played awful, and just burn the thing.
4th and 11 from the 39 for the Hershey Trojans. Ainsworth scrambling left, pump fake, now throws deep. He's got a man complete for a first down at the 32-yard line, and a wide open player, Bill Elick.
Elick was downfield because the safety man, Leonard Brown, came up and tried to anticipate the short pass to the tight end, and the pump fake was to the tight end. That allowed Elick to get behind the safety man, Brown, on that play, and he was open and just had to wait for the ball, came back for it, and had to dive just a little bit for it. That's the only reason that he didn't score on that play.
Give on the right side, and there's a right there to stop the ball carrier. Was that Powell?
Yeah, that was
Powell on the carry.
Andre Powell. You got to wonder if Gump May is going to try to set up possibly a field goal. He's got a kicker, you know, and it's a good thing if they're trying to do this, it's a good thing because I can actually give this guy some credit. Jay Taylor, 42-yard field goal he made against Lebanon at Lebanon that actually won that football game for Hershey. They ended up winning that by 3, 17-14, and that was in the 3rd week of the season. He also missed a 57-yarder in a game earlier this year that landed on the goal line. So this guy has one heck of a leg, and a field goal attempt right now would be a 49-yarder, not out of the realm of possibility, but I mean, you'd want to get a few more yards. And also, it's something to build off of for a team, just saying, we played awful, but we didn't get shut out. We didn't quit. We kept moving the ball till the end.
Well, there's 19 seconds left on the clock. Hershey has the football at the 32. Taylor has the helmet off. I don't even think he's going to come back into the football game. Ainsworth back to pass. Throws up a Hail Mary down the left side, and it's incomplete. And it will stop the clock with 13 seconds to play, and a 3rd and 9 for Hershey.
Cordell Stewart, he was not on that play. That was just a pass that was overthrown by about 10 yards. He threw it almost as soon as he dropped back to pass and was expecting his receiver to have 2.540 speed.
Ainsworth again throws one down the right side, and it is knocked down. Brown had a piece of it, Sayers had a piece of it, and the intended receiver, not sure that was Chad Dale or not. No, it was Ryan Brown was able to get a hand on it, but it brings up a 4th and 9 for Hershey with 6 seconds left in the game. Hershey trying to spoil Middletown's shutout.
And big drama as Jay Taylor is still on the bench. Right. How much drama can you have in a 47-0 game?
Well, we'll see. A new wideout comes in. That's Troy Blair, 5'11 junior. Lines up, split to the near side. Last play, back to pass. Ainsworth under pressure. Now he's down in the dirt. And the Raiders sack him as time expires. Damian Floyd right there to put the finishing blow. Save the shutout. This game is over. Final score is Middletown 47 and the Hershey Trojans nothing. This is the Blue Raiders Sports Network.